Hello, I'm Assistant District Attorney Darren Allemand. Among my duties at the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office, I have the honor and privilege of assisting our District Attorney Paul Connick with putting together our package of legislation every year. In Jefferson Parish, we've been blessed with many resources, and because we believe that those blessed with much have an obligation to work that much harder to give back to our communities, we are very active each year in putting forth legislation to improve our criminal justice system. One bill I would like to talk to you about today is House Bill 70, which became Act 463 when our governor signed it into law. This bill toughens criminal penalties for repeat offenders by ensuring that repeat offenders have to serve a greater amount of their sentences before being eligible for release on good behavior. Some of you might be familiar with the criminal justice reforms from 2017. The overarching idea behind those reforms, as we prosecutors understood them, was to focus Louisiana's criminal justice efforts on violent offenders and to shift to a more rehabilitative focus on non-violent offenders. One of the particular focuses in 2017 by groups behind the criminal justice reforms was Louisiana's good time and parole laws, which in a nutshell allow early release of certain offenders based on good behavior while in prison. The 2017 reforms stressed that violent offenders should have to serve a substantially greater amount of their sentences than non-violent offenders before being eligible for early release. And of course, some violent offenders are not eligible for early release at all. Certainly, it's always important to keep in mind the difference between a bad person and a person who makes bad decisions. However, we should always be willing to re-examine what was done to determine if it was in keeping with the public safety or whether adjustments need to be made. In 2022, Jefferson Parish's own Representative Debbie Villio put forth legislation to increase the amount of time a four-time non-violent offender has to serve before being eligible for early release to bring those time frames closer to the more restrictive law for violent offenders. The general idea behind this being a repeat car burglar or repeat drug dealer may not be violent per se, but that individual's behavior and continued disrespect for the law is still a grave threat to the peace and safety of the people of Louisiana and should be dealt with accordingly. Representative Villio approached our office and asked for our assistance in writing the bill, and we were honored to assist her in this endeavor to protect the public safety from repeat offenders. While the bill ultimately did not become law in 2022, in 2023 we were able to try again, and we are thrilled to say that the bill was signed by the governor and is now law. As per this new law, a four-time non-violent offender, such as a repeat car burglar or repeat drug dealer, will rightfully have to serve a substantially greater amount of his sentence than a first-time non-violent offender before being eligible for early release. I'd like to also stress that this bill does not change the already existing requirements that violent offenders, if they're eligible for early release at all, already have to serve a substantially greater amount of their sentences than non-violent offenders before being eligible for early release. We would like to thank all of the hard-working men and women at our legislature. We are especially grateful to Representative Villio for both putting forth this bill and for giving us the great honor of assisting her with the language, and to Senator Pat Connick for his assistance when this bill reached the Senate. Thank you for watching, and we are all honored to serve you.